Hello everybody, and this is going to be my gameplay analysis of what happened on my stream game in round 2 of the latest Premier event. I was playing my Blizzstrix deck. I will hopefully remember to put it on screen for you to look at. It was a fun deck. I had moments where it just absolutely went crazy, and I cryo-scotched the game more often than I didn't, which is insane for this deck. I managed to do that twice to win my stream match. I did lose out on the top 8 placements by about 1.5% on my opponent win percentage. I did lose to Trishula and I lost to Perky, who came second, mainly because I should have done a greedy play and it punished me for not fire enchanting a cryo burn. Anyway, that's not important. Let's get into the game and we'll explain what's going on and what cards I had in hand and my thought process. So basically, I chose to go second in this matchup. I always choose to go second in Blizzstrix, so it didn't really matter. He started off with a Nog with 2 Thunders, so I assumed he was on some sort of Thunder heal list, but not quite, and I was not too bothered with what he would play, knowing my hand. He starts off with a Rabbit, which is obviously a good card, and he searches his free. In my hand, I believe I had a Snowlet, a Rise from the Ashes, Gorgons, an Avalanche, and I can't remember what my other cards were or what I drew for turn. So anyway, he sets 2 and passes to me. 2 back row is kind of scary, but it's not too much of an issue for us if we absolutely go big. So Snowlet, we start to mill. I ask if he's got Gorgons. Well, obviously not ask if he's got Gorgons, but for any response. So we mill Tsunami, Aurora, and a Blizzstrix. That's not good seeing the Blizzstrix so early, but it happens at times. So I thought I'd Avalanche and see what we can hit. Hopefully we hit an Astral. But in this case, I ask him to mill first because sometimes my opponent forgets to mill. So what do we see off his? It's what I believe is a Toxion, an Altar, and a Race to the Top. So those are some good hits. That gets rid of his Race to the Top, which I actually forget about in game 3. So we hit a Gorgons, a Cryovern, Avalanche, Rise, and another Blizzstrix. That feels really bad, hitting 2 Blizzstrix like that. But it's fueling my underworld for when I do Rise a Blizzstrix back, which is brilliant. So we'll go from here. Instead of rising straight away, we just set 2 and pass, because there is no point trying to do anything else currently when we can only really pop 1. So he draws for turn, and some time goes past and he plays a Chick. I believe I have Gorgons set, if I remember right, and Tsunami. I'm not 100% certain. I might have top decked the Tsunami. But I didn't think the Zeus is too much of an issue because I've got the Tsunami set anyway. So he grabs the Zeus, he plays the Zeus for 2 spirits, and he Zeuses down my Snowlet, attempting to swing over, of course, with whatever he's got to deal that little bit of chip damage. But because of our face downs, it's unlikely that he was going to get it. I believe the commentators even said that Tsunami would be perfect right here, and of course I've got the Tsunami, the nice reverse Stellar version. So everything goes to defense, and we are safe for another turn. So I could ascend and or re-enchant. So I'm just checking my underworld to see how many guys I've got in there, just in case. What do I do now? Oh yeah, we play Rabbit. We're looking for Avalanche or another Snowlet or an Enfrostrix or something like that. Annoyingly, it gets PTA'd, so we do potentially lose it. So we see 3 cards. We grab the best card, I believe is I'm not sure actually, Cryoling, I believe, off of that, because we have plenty of guys plenty of spirits in the underworld, and we've also got the Gorgon set so we can fuel it even more, and we can fuel it with the Rise from the Ashes anyway, so it's not too much of an issue. So we set a card. I'm pretty sure it's just a Bluff Ambrosia or something along those lines. Oh no, it was the Aurora Borealis. I took that because I was going to use that onto the Snowlet possibly. I look through my underworld, see what we've got, and change to attack, and swing over the Chick. And this is the point where Yuko makes a massive mistake. He forgets about PTA trigger in the end phase because he does all this alter shenanigans. He forgets. So I was worried here, and I was trying to think, can I stop my attack because I don't want to crash into his Chick. But he kills his own Chick to put me into defense, which I actually didn't care about. Him seeing 3 more cards, yeah, that's not a problem. I don't mind that. So he got to steal his 3 cards, he drew for turn, and he goes from there. Now this is where it starts to get a bit spicy, because I was not expecting this card of all things, if he plays it next, if I can remember the sequencing. Yes, Sonic Core. What are the odds of someone playing Sonic Core? Very, very low. I was expecting something completely different at this point, but Sonic Core, that shuts off my Gorgons and everything else. Obviously, because he forgot about PTA, I've got 1 extra dude in play. So he has to swing over something, he can't swing direct for damage, so he obviously goes over the biggest threat, which is a Snowler. Makes complete and utter sense. But he has now just fueled up my Blizzstrix, and now my Blizzstrix can actually swing and can use its effect. So that's where we use the Rise using Waters and Thunder and a Frost. We don't need that extra Thunder anymore because we've already seen Rabbit once. So we grab the Blizzstrix, of course. It's basically our only out to the Sonic Core. He has no face downs, so we are free to do whatever we want. So we just correctly enchant it with 2 Frosts and a Wind. And we will look through our Underworld of what to put back. Snowler is a good choice. I think I've only got the 3 choices, which is the Cryovern and then the Blizzstrix. I have no other guys in Underworld, so they had to go back to pop the Sonic Core, which is brilliant. And because of his failure from the PTA, the accident, he's now going to take 4 damage instead of 3 damage. It might not sound like a lot, but that 1 extra damage does add up in the end if that rabbit can keep poking and poking and poking. So, he goes to his turn, and he's now picking the spirits that he wants to get rid of. He gets 2 fires and 2 waters, I believe, if I remember right. So he draws a turn, and the card he chooses to play, I can't remember because I've rested. That's it. He clears the rabbit, so he could have saved 1 extra spirit. I guess saved the resting. It would have killed my Blizzstrix if he'd have PTA'd that rabbit. So that does suck quite a bit for him. He then does Eddie, and I don't want him to Zeus my guy down and beat over with Eddie, so I have to Gorgons here. So luckily I had the Gorgons for this scenario. It does bring me lower on spirits, but it's not too much of an issue. So he's healing up a little bit. He uses it off for Zeus, which I think would be a mistake, because you want to keep the threat of that Zeus -3 in something a lot, because if he's got another Gorgons, another Eddie even, that's going to do some serious damage to me, and I won't be able to stop it again. Especially not with a Tsunami or anything like that set. So I'm going through my Underworld, see if I've got any more dudes so I can pop that back row. Unfortunately not, so I struggle. We do opt to go with the Cryoling play. I have enough Frost in the Underworld to get the Cryoling into the Cryovern, which is really good. And then with my set Aurora, the following turn goes crazy. So we go Cryoling into the Cryovern. I nearly knocked my Underworld all over the place. Luckily, because I put the Cryovern back, it was at the bottom of the deck, and now I get to shovel that Blizzstrix and that Snowler to a different position, which is great. What more could you want? It's a good shuffling. And I obviously water enchant it. There's no reason to ever correctly enchant it straight away, because if that's a Tsunami set, then my Cryovern would not beat over, my Blizzstrix definitely wouldn't beat over. So I have a quick little think, and I go Cryovern over the Eddie. And then we risk it and go Blizzstrix into him, because then he would be on a very low amount of spirits after that. He would have to take 4 spirits, so he'd be on 2 left, which would leave me perfect amount for the Cryo Scorch play. Anyway, so he takes the damage, he has 3 left. After those 3, he plays a rabbit again to try and dig for maybe Ambrosias or Earthquakes, something just to alleviate his pain and keep him alive as much as possible. He adds a card and sets a card. So during his end phase, I activate Aurora Borealis. Now, you might have caught this during the stream game, but there was a little bit of an oopsie here. I did forget to discard a card with the effect. However, because I used the Cryovern effect during the draw phase, it doesn't actually matter unless he was to have Gorgonsed it. Then it would have mattered. I know it's a bit of an issue, but luckily he didn't have it, and I completely forgot. He forgot as well. The judges didn't even notice it either. It's one of them things. So at this point I'm trying to ascend into Cryoscorch, and the judge tells us to hold on a sec, and I'm like, oh no, what's happened? And apparently somebody in the chat said that the Yoko's camera looks like it's frozen and it's not moving, but you can see slight little shadows moving because his frame rate is so low on his camera. It was difficult to see what was going on. Whilst we were there, I was just tapping my fingers, just talking to him, and he was waving his hands, showing that his camera is actually working and it's on, and actually recording, which is fine. I could tell when I was playing that his camera was on. Like I say, the shadows, subtle shadows that I could see, and then I realised during this moment, I was like, oh no, the Aurora Borealis I didn't discard for, but it didn't matter. But then we get back to how it is. The casters have no idea what's going on. I kept telling him, oh, just tap your fingers as you're playing, just so that you can see some sort of movement on the camera. It just makes it so that people don't think you're somehow taking a screenshot of exactly what's going on and then manipulating cards. It's weird, I know, but yeah. So anyway, we go into the Reverse Stellar Cryoscorch from the tournament packs. And of course, because I am Frost, Water enchanted, I have to ascend into a Fire enchanted one. So we shuffle our deck, not like it's needed, and then we Fire enchant it. I forgot about the Destroy All Runes effect on this as well, so that's even worse. So I just expend my Spirit deck for the effect to burn for 5, and that's game. That's game 1, over and done with. And I'm shouting Cryoscorch best deck. Anyway, game 2, I have to mulligan. I had 2 Blizzstrix and a Cedar Sort in hand initially. He mulligans as well. I didn't actually realise it at the time, but we both mulligan, which is great. It powers up the Cryoling and goes really, really well. However, this game 2 really hurt for me. Trying to hit what you need every game is so difficult. Obviously, because I got 11th place, I obviously didn't do the best. I bubbled out by like 1.5%, so I obviously didn't make it. And it's because sometimes you just don't get the cards you need when you need them, or even see any. I didn't want to mulligan again because I did have the Snowlet and I did have some plays, but not enough. Actually, no, I believe I had an Avalanche and a Rise in hand. So I was like, oh, if I just Avalanche and hit a guy, I can rise it back and go from there. Unfortunately, that's not how it worked. So we Avalanche, we hope to hit a guy here. He asked him to mill first, and we mill together. So you got 2 Thunderstorms, and I hit Aurora, Tsunami, and Frostrix. He hit 2 Thunderstorms and a Divine Blessing. So I don't really want to rise back and then Frostrix. That's just like the worst rise target possible in this entire deck. Narpoon is arguably worse, but with Narpoon it's got better stats than Frostrix. So, you know, you'd want to do other things. So I expend to draw and set a few cards and pass because I've got no other play. Unfortunately, one of my face downs is an Aurora as well. So that's just as bad because that's just a bluff card that's not doing anything. So now he goes for a Thunder Enchanted Eddie. Now I get why he's doing this, because if he has Alter set, he just burns for an extra damage and hits harder, which is great for him, bad for me. So anyway, he swings 2. I take the 2 damage. Not a lot I can do about that. I do not have Tsunami at the time, I believe, because I've just milled 1 copy and I only run 2 copies in the deck. So we draw in, I believe I'm drawing like Elestrals and really bad cards. I did get a Rabbit, which helps because I want to see another Avalanche, and I get PTA'd, which really sucks. He just seems to have PTA every single time, but I want to play a card. It's really annoying, but it is what it is. So I look at the cards and I find, I don't remember exactly what I find, but I believe it's just counter runes and no actual guys, or maybe another Rabbit. I'm not 100% sure. It's really unfortunate that this game went this way. It just felt so bad playing game 2 like this. But in the end we do win, but it's not the point. Sometimes you just get games like this and it just feels really, really bad. And you're not hitting the cards that you actually want to hit. So obviously end phase, he actually kills it this time, luckily. He remembered to do it. So I've set one extra one, and obviously during the end phase I passed. So he's going through his deck, he re-enchants the Toxion. I earn another damage. I know at this point I'm not getting a Cryo Scorch into the Underworld, so I just get rid of the fire, and then he Ambrosia's using one spirit from the Toxion. That is an okay play. It saves him on spirits a bit more, but I think I would rather have done the extra damage, and then you've got more for a Nexus target. You don't have to waste a guy, essentially. So he does 2 more damage, and at this point I'm like, this is really, really bad. I've got next to nothing that I can do. I'm out of Thunder Spirits. I'm taking way too much damage. There's just really nothing that's going to save me at this point. So I'm quite demoralised from it. I'm looking through, like, what have I milled? It's only a rabbit and maybe 2. So I go Ambrosia, try to heal a bit, because I've got a rabbit in hand. So I need a Thunder Spirit and some Frost to try and heal that back up. He asks how many spirits I've got left, and that's when he does hit me with Divine Blessing. And it's like, yeah, from this point, there is nothing I can do. I've just not healed, not got the spirits, and I needed this rabbit to stick that I cast, because I did have a Blizzstrix in hand, so I could have gone into a Blizzstrix from here if my rabbit stayed in play that I cast. So I have to think about it. It's like, what can I do? My only play really is to just enchant, Frost enchant, and hope for the best. So that's what we do. I'll sink into our water enchant. It's like, what's the point? Because then if he eddies me, I can't Tsunami. So Frost enchanted rabbit, no thunders left. Feels bad. So I obviously pass, go to pass, and he just PTA straight away. And from there, it's just, what's the point? This is a lost game. I'm too far behind. I have no guys on play, and I just cannot keep a guy out. Maybe if I'd have found a Snowlet, it might have helped, but this late in the game, and with a Sonic Core coming out now, there is very little I can do. My back row is all turned off. No more Aurora to double proc the Snowlet. Swinging for 2, and now I don't have enough to rise a Blizzstrix back if I had one in the Underworld. So from here I'm just looking at my hand, looking at my spirits left. Can I do anything to even attempt to clear that and win? I look at my back row, see if I've got any invokes. I think I set a rise as a bluff, and I just scoop it up. There's no point playing this out. So game 3. This is where we go nuts. I drew the absolute god hand. He goes for a chick, searching for Zeus again, and obviously he's going to power the Zeus up. I know he sets one and keeps the Zeus in hand, so he doesn't want to get destroyed. My hand is absolute godlike at this point, with the Snowlet, Avalanche, and Frostrix, Rise, and a Gorgons. Absolute perfect hand to pick, and hitting the Astral is amazing off of the first mill. I don't have to Avalanche at all. It's great. You are absolutely laughing at this point. You then have to think about what you're doing, and do I play Avalanche or do I play the Astral? Well, I go for the Frostrix first, of course, because it just makes more sense to hit the Snowlet out, mill 3 more, and if I hit another Astral, even better, which I do. It's my top deck, it's great, and the Cryo Scorch goes in, which is perfect, because Cryo Scorch is best either in the Underworld or at the bottom of the deck. You don't want it anywhere else, because if you mill it and you don't have Rise, it sucks, but if you mill it and you've got Rise, it's amazing. So I was telling him, yeah, I've got poor Astral and expensive Astral, so I'll use poor Astral's effect, and hopefully we were trying to mill something like Cedasaur, so I've got even more attacking or defensive power. Never seen a Cedasaur in my entire games that I played, which is really weird. So I hit nothing off of those mills, unfortunately, just some Cryolings, and then the second Astral absolutely goes nuts. Narpoon, Blizzstrix number 1, and Frostrix, Blizzstrix number 2. Double Blizzstrix off of 1 mil. What an absolute hit. Also, I had a Blizzstrix in hand that I top decked for turn, which sucks. So my odds of hitting double Blizzstrix was really, really low. It's absolutely crazy. but I managed to pull it off. So I was thinking, if that's a tsunami, my Blizzstrix is going to be in a very poor position. So I had to think, it's like, oh, I'll water enchant one, wind enchant the other, so I can get a guaranteed swing with the water enchanted one, which is good. I've got plenty of things I could put back. I had 6 guys in the underworld at this time, I believe, so I could do the effect twice if that Blizzstrix stays alive. So of course on cast they use a tsunami, which is perfect, because then obviously my Blizzstrix just kills his chick with the effect, and then I swing directly for free rather than him taking no damage whatsoever. So that's what I do. We go and look through. It's like thinking, what do I put back? What is needed to be put back? I've got to think. If I get an Enfrostrix, I want to be able to get a 1-cost back out and be able to use effects. I don't want to put the Cryoscorch back because I can rise it back. So what I do first is I know he's got no back row, so we just go straight for the Scorchy boy, the absolute hero of the decks. I get rid of the Thunders because I think, you know what, I'm this far ahead already, I don't need Rabbit. If I see a Rabbit, oh well, I'll just Frost enchant it in defense or something. It doesn't matter. So I go Fire, Water, Frost at this point, because if I get an Aurora at some point, I can then Frost enchant the Cryoscorch correctly and not have to worry about re-enchanting it, or I just re-enchant the Blizzstrix and we're good to go. So I set a couple of cards, one of them being Gorgons. I believe one of them might have been a bluff card, maybe, like Avalanche, I think, because I didn't actually need the Avalanche at this point. So obviously I'm thinking, like, what do I put back? So Enfrostrix, an Astral, and I do put another Enfrostrix back, because I need to see these Enfrostrix to get the Snowlux back out, or potentially the Cryolings, if I find them. So of course I put them to the bottom of the deck, destroy the chick and swing for 6. Swinging for 6 is quite good. Well, it feels very good at the start of the game, so I'm on very low spirits, so a Toxyon does really hurt me here. However, Toxyon isn't going to do enough on its own to be able to outright clean me out and kill me. He would need multiple Toxyons and Altars and Zeus in play. And with me removing cards, he just can't do it quick enough, unfortunately. He could get close, but not close enough. So he draws for turn, he gets his Jolton. I'm pretty sure he might have drawn the Rise, Race to the Top even, for turn. I'm thinking here, it's like, okay, he's going to search for the Olympus, but what's he going to do with that? He still can't beat over anything. Completely forgetting about Race to the Top, because it's limited. You don't even think about it when it's limited, so I'll let him search. He grabs these very special stamped Mount Olympus, which is pretty cool. I don't have anything super fancy like that. So yeah, he grabs that. He goes to play it straight away. He shuffles his hand a little bit first. But he plays the card, and from there you can see, I start to see where he's going. I'm thinking, why is he playing it? He still can't beat over me. But then I realise, oh no, he could Zeus and do shenanigans with that. Thinking, oh, he's going to beat over my Blizzstrix or beat over something else and do more damage. So he plays a Zeus down, and this is where I start to panic a bit. But he puts 2 spirits on Zeus, which is fine. I don't really mind that, because he has to use at least one, and then if he's got an altar, that's another one gone. Then the Zeus will be cleared. So he disenchants targeting my defense position Blizzstrix, which I'm thinking, right, okay, if he swings into me, I've got Gorgons, I'm safe. Race to the top. Like, what the heck? Now, he misplayed. He should have picked my Cryoscorch or my attack position Blizzstrix, but he's picked both Blizzstrix. This is a massive misplay for him. It could have cleared my Cryoscorch, so then I couldn't scorch him for game, and I would only have the Blizzstrix in attack position, because then he could have then potentially jolted over the defense position one, but he didn't. And I was thinking, do I just waste my spirits to off the Blizzstrix? But I was like, nah, there's no point. So at the start of my turn, I top deck nothing. It is basically a dead card. It didn't do anything. I'm asking how many spirits he's got, see if I can burn him for game. But that face down is what's scaring me currently. I probably could have burnt him for game at this point, to be honest, knowing what his face down is now, like hindsight, because his face down wouldn't do anything. I would burn him for 5 and swing for 2, and he would only have the Zeus left on field. But I go to the Blizzstrix effect just to be safer. So if he stops that, I can still swing over, which is pretty good. So we put back what we can, a Harpoon, an Astral, and I believe Cryoling, because I can search for Cryoling with a Harpoon if I get it. So we put those back. Ask if he's got any response before they go back. And nope, so his Shield of Achilles dies, which is really good. Although, if he would have shielded, he still would have lost most of his spirits. So I double check how many spirits he's got left again, see how much damage I can do. And that's when I just go for the swing. So I go Cryoscorch first, and then Blizzstrix. It doesn't really matter because he has no face downs. But either way, I didn't want to risk it, because you know what it's like. So he takes 6 damage, most of his spirits gone. I believe he has 1 Thunder left. He's just hoping and praying. I think he's just hoping to do something. I said to him, just play it out if you got nothing. So he Toxion's, he passes turn. So I just draw for turn. I know exactly what I'm doing. I want to Cryoscorch him for game again. So I re-enchant and Cryoscorch effect. And yeah, that's game. So unfortunately, he lost to that. I have basically dead cards in hand. And I'm like pointing and laughing, going like, Cryoscorch Protect, yeah, let's go! And he's saying, yeah, that was a really good game. So I had an Avalanche set and a Gorgon set, and was talking about the Jolton play, if he could have done it. So that was the play, and now we're going to have the commentators discussing about the deck and how crazy it was. So let's listen to what they say, and that will be the end of the video.
And we're just starting off the day here. Sierra, what just happened? What just happened?
I am at a loss for words. Being able to see 3, not 1, not 2, 3 3-cost Elestrals on your very first turn is absolutely insane. They are making a statement. They are making a statement and said Blizzstrix is here to stay, and we're winning this thing.
I talk down on the deck all the time, maybe just out of pure jealousy. I wish I had that type of power to bring out some of the 3 biggest Elestrals in the game, and just overwhelming the opponent with advantage too. And to that point, you know, Yoku in that game too, showcasing that Thunder can even have those really powerful control against such an explosive strategy. And with some expert plays too, really heads up bringing out the Toxion for the burn, and the Sonicore, putting in a lot of work to shut down Blizzstrix's only lines of defense. These casters were putting on a real showcase today, and we're just getting started.
Oh yeah, we have plenty more clashes to come. I'm very excited to see what else we can experience today, because that first turn for Astro on game 3 is just, I'm beside myself right now.
Wow. Now it's crazy to me to see games like that after the very methodical, very calculated games sometimes that we'll see from Elestrals. These one-off bodies, one-off trades for counter runes for Elestrals here, and then you stick some of the most exciting, electrifying cards from Sonicore to Blizzstrix, base set to Moonrise. We are so back. The competition's really heating up despite all the frost we just saw. Holy.
For sure. Whew.
That was crazy. Talk to us about the Blizzstrix player there. I don't know how much, I know with the fire element of choice, Blizzstrix might be a little bit too far, but playing the burn strategy, it's really cool. What's with that, do you think?
Blizzstrix normally gets really low, so you got to manage your resources, as you do in the entire game of Elestrals. Now, you're susceptible to burn. With Cryoscorch, its effect making you get rid of your entire spirit deck. If you're already going to be super low, who cares? Just get rid of it and just finalize the game. The number of times that I've seen Blizzstrix players lose to an eruption after they've had so much board state, they're like, nope, we're not doing that now. We are the burn players now.
And also helps insulate from that burn too. If let's say you want to misenchant a rabbit, misenchant a snowlet, misenchant an harpoon, or misenchant one of your ascensions like a cryovern in this case, with the fire can help you really insulate, to kind of reiterate that, against the eruptions. Which is so interesting to see the development of Blizzstrix. If the mentality of Blizzstrix, let me wax poetic real quick, waxing gibbous here. The thing about it, and I love the evolution of this, was let me play Blizz, straightforward Blizz. I'm gonna play it like a normal deck though, counter runes, rabbits, things we'd normally see, eddies even, just with the Blizz package. Then transitioning into what would be like a no ambrosia, all gas, no breaks, let's play Blizz, let's go gambling. And then something like this, the recent Cryovern and Cryoscorch kind of hype, shout out to Sir Tractor here, and saying, just like you said, who cares? If I'm going to be down to 0 spirits, I might as well burn. I love the who cares mindset from these players. I would be so worried. Edge of my seat during that entire game. I'd be off the wall, like, please hit this mill. Okay, cool. No, cool.
Absolutely, and they had the entire line for Cryoling, Cryoburn, and Cryoscorch, which on the Cryoscorch, if you special ascend with the effect from the Cryoburn, you can destroy all runes on the board.
Killer.
We weren't able to see it with the Rise from the Ashes in Game 2, but if they were to properly ascend through the line, you just clear the back row and you're able to get in for damage.
And having that flex option there is something that is like really notable, right? Because I think the idea of either going for your big body or going for a big push in destruction of runes, as much as we've seen Argo and as much as we've seen like Shield be really pivotal cards inside this format, being able to remove those off the bat is absolutely killer. You mentioned the water enchanting on the Blizzstrix to really help make sure that damage goes through. How much do you think the water enchanting did for Astronite there in that last game?
For that one there, it was definitely pivotal. The water enchanting the Blizzstrix allowed them to potentially prepare for the tsunami, and they were able to get rid of the other Elestral with the properly enchanted Blizzstrix. So
Yeah.
the wombo combo there. Which, to circle back to the Cryoscorch, like that tag team of Cryoscorch and Blizzstrix, where, as I was saying before, the special ascension into the Cryoscorch can clear the back row, but then the Blizzstrix is able to get rid of any Elestral in your way. So you're essentially getting rid of the entire board.
Yeah, you're covering both fronts there, front and back. And a lot of the decks can't really hit it like that, right? That's kind of the crazy part, is that we've seen cards like Kinleo, as we're more familiar with, and Aqualinks being able to kind of tag team both. But one single deck having this much power, be able to destroy both, to wipe, let's just say, just to completely get rid of entire board states, is terrifying. And I think an excellent showcase from Astronite, giving us a pure clinic on Blizz.
For sure, and Yoku did their very best, but staring down a turn 1 board of 2 Blizzstrix and a Cryoscorch, there isn't much you can do about it.